Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Busted the Bill. I'm Kurt. Today we're working on a 2013 Ford Focus 2.0 liter, naturally aspirated, and customer complaint is it is stalling, surging, chugging, doing all kinds of weird things. Gotta check engine light. I'll let you guys see firsthand what's happening with this old girl. Kinda got a long crank on it. Eventually it'll go here. Maybe not. One more go. There we go. It's kind of got a little hiccup in it here and there, but it's definitely running kind of rough, just really vibrating hard and just chugging a little bit, just hearing an idle. So there's absolutely something happening. I'm going to go ahead and scan it for trouble codes, and we'll see what's happening there, what we come up with. Alright, we went ahead and did a code scan, and everything's coming up good except for the PCM. And we've got fuel rail pressure too low, engine cranking, and fuel rail pressure sensor circuit low. So that'll explain a lot. So I bet that we got some funky readings happening, something going on here. Let's go ahead and enter into there. And I'm going to pull up the data stream here for the fuel rail pressure, desired and actual, and we'll see what that looks like. Alright, here we got the data stream pulled up. We got desired fuel rail pressure at 53.65 psi. Actual fuel rail pressure here is 0. And then the fuel rail pressure sensor voltage also pretty much at 0 here. And so we definitely got something to investigate. And so I'm going to hook up a probe here at the sensor and see if we actually have 0 volts or if that's lying to us there, and that'll be a good start. Alright, so now we're back in here doing some testing, and right for ease of convenience, the sensor's down here and where this harness loops around the intake and then comes up right here. I just unsnapped it from there, and then we're doing some testing where these wires were exposed. Makes it a lot easier to check things out. So I've got the ground of the meter hooked to the ground of the car. So anyways, right here you check, we got 12 volts. Key is on, and so the first wire we're going to check is going to be this red outfit here, which is on the gray wire, and that's supposed to be our 5-volt reference. And so plug on there, and we have 90 millivolts, so that is nowhere near what we're supposed to have there. That should be the 5-volt reference. And the wire right next to it, which will be this black guy, and is the blue and brown wire in that connector. Going there, and this is the signal coming from the sensor, and that is the 0.123 millivolts. And if I come back over here to the scanner, that is exactly what we have over here on the scan tool. Almost. I mean, within reason. So that agrees there. And then over here would be the sensor ground, and that also agrees. So the ground's good, the return wire agrees, but there's no reason that this should be over what the 5-volt reference is, even though we don't have 5 volts. If there's only 90 millivolts going in, how is there 123 millivolts coming out? So absolutely some sort of electrical problem happening here, so it's going to take a little bit of understanding, I guess, to see what's going on here. So let me check into that. Be right back with you. Alright, now after looking at this harness just for a second, it didn't take long at all, following it around and everywhere. Right down here at the intake, where it wraps right here, is rubbing pretty hard. And I think if I get the camera just right, oh yeah, there we go. There you can see it down there. I pull up, you can see the green crusties in there coming out. Right here. Right here. This camera angle is such crap. Alright, I'm going to pull this I'll pull the intake out here so you guys can see it here. Give me a second. Alright, so I got the air cleaner out of my way now, as well as the throttle body here. Just had to disconnect a few connectors and hoses and stuff. So right here where this harness comes across this intake, see there's a little barb right, you can't see. I gotta try and set this up here just right now. But right there where my finger is, right here, there's a little barb that holds that down in the intake, and there's a real sharp corner here on the intake, and you can see the green crusties right there that are forming on the intake. So sure enough, then you just pull this out a little bit and fold this harness over just below this sticker here, right here. You can see where that's touching, and you got the green crusties. We've definitely got some severed wires right there. So I got to peel this thing apart, see what the damage is, and get her fixed up. Let's do it here. Bad. Woo! Look at all them broken wires. And if you look real close, severed wire right there, right off the bat's the gray wire. That's our 5-volt reference to the fuel rail pressure sensor. So that explains why we don't have a 5-volt reference right there. Yeah, so anyway, got a lot of work to do here. Let's try and get these things all fixed back up and soldered up and see if we can make this thing any better or not.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alright, there we got her all fixed up. So I ended up having 6 wires that I had to fix up, and so I added a couple inches to them, so those aren't the shortest wires in the bundle now, so there's not a bunch of tension on them. And so anyways, we'll go ahead and check back, see what we got for reference voltage now, see if that looks good. Alright, so I'm back over, same connector where I was originally checking from, and so we'll check now our 5-volt reference. Beautiful, look at that, 5 volts right on the money. Alright, and then we'll check our return signal. 0.6 volts. I believe that's acceptable. And our ground should still be good and unchanged. So this should be 0 volts. Excellent. Alright, so there's that. Now, let me put this thing back together, all this rigmarole over here, and see if this thing will fire up and run decent. Alright, so here we got Humpty Dumpty back together again, and so I got my lead in the way here, but this is where the harness is at now, so anyways, it's not tight there. This is where it was before. It was right there where the green crusties are, and now I've got it kind of in front of that, And this vacuum hose kind of holds it in place anyway, so now it's not so tight against anything. But let's see if it fires right up now. I'm hoping that to resolve at least that issue. Oh, turn my light off. Saying there's only 120,000 on this thing. Crazy. But here we go. Well, that's much better right away. So now let's come out here. We'll check our voltages while it's running. Alright, so now I'm hooked up to my 5-volt reference. That's good. Now let's check our signal return. 1 volt. Very nice. I'm going to hook that right on. And now we can compare our voltages here. So, fuel rail pressure voltage, 1 volt, about 150 millivolts. Same here. So that's perfect. Then fuel rail pressure desired and actual fuel rail pressure, they're right following each other. So we got that taken care of for sure. So this thing's all fixed up. I gotta unhook my leads, clear the codes, and this thing will be ready to rip. And out here for a test drive now, just cruising right along, and no check engine light. And looking at our data stream, both desired, actual, and voltage, all agree. Same line pattern for all of them. Give it a little throttle and everything comes up, and back off and everything goes down. So we got this one resolved here, so running like a champ. So happy that we got this taken care of. Ended up being a pretty interesting one with the wiring and what have you. Alright guys, so we got this one all fixed up and taken care of. I'd like to thank everybody for following along and watching. If you made it this far, and if it helped you out at all, please consider liking, commenting, or even subscribing to the channel. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.